Hey, what's up, y'all? This is William, the permaculture consultant, and some weird stuff is happening on the property. I'm making this video not for clickbait or views or anything like that, but if anybody has any discernment on what is happening, I'd greatly appreciate it if you would shoot me an email and tell me what you think is happening or what this could possibly be. Let me explain the full story. So, was it Wednesday night? I get a call from a neighbor that's like way down I would say 3/4 to a mile away down the road. And she stops by with her grandkids every once in a while and wants to so her grandkids can see the piggies, and we feed the piggies and they give them snacks and stuff like that. She gives me a call Wednesday evening and I'm eating dinner, so I don't answer the phone. And then she sends me a text saying, "Hey, it's me and the boys, call me back, 911. So I immediately call back, and she says hey, your neighbor's vehicle is on fire and it's right next to your property. It's right next to the fence line. I don't know if the piggies are close to that or not, but that's what's going on." So I know which vehicle she's talking about, and I know it's close to the property line, but it's not dangerously close to the property line. So I finish eating dinner, and then I come out to the property, and oh, she also says she called the cops and she called the fire department, and they're on the way and stuff like that. So about 35 minutes to maybe 40 minutes later from that initial first call that I didn't answer is I show up to the property. And I see, let me show you the vehicle. So you see what I mean? It's close to the property line. It's that far away from the property line. You can see both right there, but it's not so close where I'm worried about the fence and the posts and all that stuff getting caught up. And I know that it's not by, I knew which vehicle she was talking about, and it's not by the forest or anything like that, anything that could catch everything else on fire. But here's a closer up view of this vehicle that is on fire. Now, by itself, that is not weird, but it's everything else in addition to this that makes it bizarre. So I come out, I check it out, and the car at this point is just smoldering. I don't see any cops, I don't see the fire department, I don't see anything else. The car is just kind of smoldering at this point, which seemed odd. I was okay, maybe she was just exaggerating about how bad it was. I don't see anybody else out here. Even the neighbors, they're not here. But I noticed, I come out and I see, okay, it's not in danger of catching anybody's stuff on fire. Their property isn't in danger. This is an old, busted down, broke down car that's been that in that position for 5 to 6 years or something. It's been here for a long time. It's not like they lost their daily driver or anything like that. And also the contact that I have for them is an old contact. It doesn't work anymore. I've tried it before. It doesn't work anymore. So that happens. The next day, I come out and I check on the piggies, which are way over there. I'm gonna flip around the camera. If you see those blue barrels, I'm gonna zoom in on those blue barrels. I'm this far away from that vehicle, zooming in on those blue barrels. That's where the piggies are, all the way over there. And you can kind of see them laying down just right above, or just to the right of those blue barrels, you can see them laying down. But I come out and I check on the piggies, and this is the next day, Thursday. And I have a total of 4 pig nets, 4 Premier 1 pig nets. 2 of those are completely shredded. Pigs just don't, and it's not the shredding on the wires were pulled apart like the pigs would do. It's they were cut, everywhere though. To the point where I would have to buy another fence to then splice into this fence for that old fence to be usable. So that happens, and the pigs are actually they're in the pasture over on that side of the property. That's where the pigs are. And I noticed them walking up down the pasture side of the fence as I'm pulling into the property, and I'm oh crap, the pigs got out. And then I noticed they're also skittish. They don't want to come near me, which is completely the opposite reaction that these pigs have to me, because I've built a relationship with them. They know that when I come, they get snacks, and they're always at my heels, not being aggressive or anything like that. They're coonies. They're very friendly pigs. and they're like not aggressive. They just they're always like at my heels, like, hey, give me some snacks, until I drop the food, and they're like, okay, cool, you did your job, let me go eat this food now. Now they are following me to an extent, but they're lagging behind. They're way behind me. And even to this point, I'm like, okay, they're kind of stuck. They might be a little scared. They're skittish. That's not, it just seemed temporary, and that didn't seem, I don't know, it just didn't stand out. Like, guys, stick with me. This all kind of plays out, and the combination of everything going on is what makes this weird. And then I start thinking, like, okay, how did they bust through this fence? Why is it like cut up like it is? Stuff like that. Like that part doesn't make any sense either. Like, because when pigs bust through electric netting, first of all, it's like 9 to 10,000 volts, and they're trained to it. So it's not like they're like, something has to seriously happen for them to get out of that fence. It's not like they're just going to push their way through. They're trained to it, and it's super, super hot. So they get out, they're on the property, the neighbor's property, and then I walk them down and around, and I eventually get them back into this property, and I drop like a ton of food down, and then I put the remaining fence that I have around them. Now I had the boars and the sows separated, but as of right now, they're not separated because I don't have the fencing for it right now. So that's what's going on. This morning, I come out here, and they've like, are very, very skittish. Like they won't come near me. Even if I have like buckets of feed, they won't come near me. They're just being odd. Like if I walk up to them right now, these pigs know me. If I walk up to them, they'll come up to me for like back scratches and stuff. Like I've fed these guys almost 50 pounds of feed this morning just to get them to like stay in one spot and me put up a fence around them. Like even right now, well, you guys can't see that, they're on alert. Like some of them are sleeping, but they're paying attention to me. Yeah. It's been a rough morning for them, so I'm not gonna bother them more than I already have this morning. But this is super odd behavior for these piggies. I know I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm trying to work this out. I'm trying to make sense of this. So there's the fire. I don't check on the piggies at night because of the proximity. They're just not close to each other. So it shouldn't have bothered them. And I've had fires out here before. I've had bonfires out here before. I've shot guns out here before. They've never been affected by the sounds or the fire before. So it didn't give me a reason to go check on them that night. So there's that fire. The piggies break out the next morning. They're in the neighbor's pasture the next morning. That's Thursday. Today is Friday. I come back out again tonight, or this morning, and they are like super skittish. They won't come near me. They're like scared of me for some reason. Like I can't get any closer than to that tree right there. Like that's maybe 20 feet apart. Like they won't come up to me even whenever I have food and they haven't been fed yet. So this is the point where things start getting this is the point where in my mind I'm thinking like, okay, something happened. This is odd. So the fire happened. The piggies, I'm assuming they escaped that night or early the next morning. I'm not really sure. They didn't, okay, so that night whenever I came and checked on the fire, they did not come up to the vehicle like they would have, or they didn't come up to me whenever I was over there checking things out. They didn't come up to me, so I'm guessing it didn't happen then. Like they didn't get out at that point. So the fire happens, I come out the next morning, Thursday. The fire happens Wednesday, I come out the next morning, Thursday. The piggies are out in that pasture over there, and they're following the fence, and they want some food. And then I finally get them back in, but they're still standoffish. They're still skittish. And then this morning, they're like, and that also yesterday morning is whenever I discovered like the fence is shredded. Like 2 of the 4 Premier 1 pig nets are ruined, like beyond repair. And this morning, I come back out to check on them, and they're like terrified of me. Even though they haven't eaten today, and I have 2 buckets of feed for them, they don't come near me. And then I'm trying to re-separate them as well, because now they're all combined. They're all together, and I'm trying to separate them, and they just are not like I can't get them to come close enough to me for me to sort them. Like these pigs aren't like that difficult to sort. It's not like most commercial breed pigs. These guys are very used to me touching them. They're very used to me pushing them. Like stuff like that. Like I'm not like abusing them by any means, but they're tough pigs and I have to like, you know, it takes some effort to redirect a pig. But it's like they're not having it. They don't want me around. They're terrified of me. They're scared of me. Stuff like that. Like the relationship that I've had with these pigs seems to be all but ruined. Like they're terrified of me. They don't know, like this doesn't make any sense to them. Okay. So then I start thinking, okay, maybe the fire just scared the crap out of them. Like maybe something like that happened, but then I think back, like I've had bonfires around them before. I've shot guns around them before, and they just carried on as normal. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And then I start going back over here and looking at the fence by this burned down car. By this burned down car, I have a gate right here. That has not been moved at all. Like the grass, the sticky, branchy stuff on either side is standing upright, so I know this gate has not been moved either direction. But what does seem odd is that the fence right here is pushed down as if somebody went over the fence right here, or something, I don't even know. But you can see that this fence right here is pushed down as if somebody pushed it down and then hopped over, and it's also buckled, so you can see that there was weight on here before. This part of the fence was not like that before. Like it was straight up and down because nothing's gone over this fence before. So then I start looking around like here for tracks because we had just like a week of rain not too long ago, and I'm able to leave tracks in this mud, and I don't see any tracks anywhere. This doesn't make any sense. Like something came over the fence and there's no tracks or anything like that. And then I start investigating where the pigs were before all this stuff happened. I don't see any tracks, but it's also harder ground there, so it would have been harder for them to, for whatever it was, to leave a track. But there were two things I found back there. One was a Walmart plastic bag, which, you know, like the Walmart plastic bag by itself, it could be blown in. I mean, that kind of makes sense. They're lightweight, they catch a current of wind pretty easily. But then I also saw like a torn apart Chick-fil-A container. That seemed odd. I was like, okay, this didn't just like blow in. I mean, it has a lot of obstacles to get past before it ever reached back there. So that seemed odd. I don't know. Like, I just don't know what is happening. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, the fire that happened should not have spooked these pigs, and now these pigs are very, very skittish. It's like the relationship between us has been ruined. And anybody who's had pigs before that have been bucket trained, that you interact with every day, that you touch every single day, you know that like they act like a dog. Okay, imagine having 8 dogs, and all of these 8 dogs are like, they're your best friends. I mean, I'm not best friends with these pigs by any means, but they like know every time they see you, they get snacks and they get back scratches and stuff like that. Like, I treat these pigs well. And imagine having 8 dogs, and then all of a sudden the next day they're scared of you, they won't come near you. Even if you have food and they haven't eaten yet, they don't come near you. And they're just like, very clearly something has happened. Now, I've also noticed that 2 of those pigs seem very, very lethargic. Like, they're just like, they'll take a couple steps, they'll stop eating, and then they'll just walk over and just kind of flop down. And that seems odd because they were never lethargic before. And it's not like they're overweight. They're not like some diabetic piggies or anything like that. So that stands out. The reason I'm making this video is because, okay, now in the background, I have never dove into scripture the way I am right now. There's that. Also, me and my friend are creating something that the enemy definitely does not want made, because it is going to help people. And that's yet to be released and stuff like that. But in just the creation of this thing, there have been setback after setback after setback, as if there's some sort of outside force working against us, which makes sense, and I'm fine with the battle. Like it comes with what we're doing. But if anybody has any ideas as to what is going on here, with the pigs, with the fire, I mean, there's just a few things that don't make any sense. She said she called 911 and the fire department. Neither one of them were there. By the time I got here, the car was smoldering, which, I mean, anybody who's ever burned a tire before knows those tires burn for a long time. I think Jeff Foxworthy has a skit about it. The relationship with me and the pigs is ruined. They won't come anywhere near me. They don't want anything to do with me, even if when I have food. And then the pig netting is cut, like clean cuts, like something with claws or knives or something like that came through and cut the pig net. It doesn't look like the pigs just busted through and stretched it out and popped them. Also, the pig netting was dragged in a couple of different directions, which at the time, like, I wish I would have gotten footage of it, because at the time, like, it didn't stand out. I'm like, okay, they got spooked by something. They tried to rush through, they got shocked and they freaked out, and a bunch of them just, all that type of stuff. But that doesn't explain the ruined relationship between me and the pigs. That seems odd. So if anybody has any discernment on what is going on, please shoot me an email at ThePermacultureConsultant@gmail.com. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I mean, at the risk of sounding like a crazy person, I mean, at this point, I don't really care if you agree or don't disagree, or if you agree or disagree. But if you look on maps, like this area around Sulphur Springs in Texas, not Sulphur Springs, but Sulphur River in Texas seems to be like a cryptid hotspot. And there have been times before where I've actually haven't caught anything on video, but I've noticed something on video before. I've paid attention to it, and I've told you guys during the video, like, hey, seems like something's back there. I don't know what it is, but I could see it out of the corner of my eyes. I would go back there and didn't see anything, didn't see any tracks or anything like that. Like, something is going on out here. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's retaliation for what me and my friend are trying to create. I don't know. Here's another thing. It can honestly be retaliation for what we uncovered in North Carolina, as far as the contamination, the radiation, the land grab that's going on, the lithium, the cobalt deposits, the quartz mining that's going on. It could be retaliation for that. I really don't know. There have been like a couple reels that I've done with people that have gone like super viral, like to the point where somebody's emailed my dad before and said like, hey, your son has gone viral. Like, here's the post. Stuff like that on Instagram and Twitter, and then all that type of stuff. So I don't know what's happening. If anybody has any discernment, please let me know. So yeah, that's what's going on here. Thank you guys for watching, and any of you guys' opinions. I mean, you can even leave it down below in the comment section if you don't feel like emailing too. But yeah, that's what's happening here. I don't really know how to end a video like this, but on a happier note, if you'd like a consultation, hit up the email down below. Like, if you want me to come out to your property and help you with your permaculture design and stuff like that, email down below. And until next time, and if there are any developments on this, more understanding or anything like that, then I'll let you guys know and I'll make a video on it. But yeah, I got to figure out what to do with these piggies. Yeah, it just makes it super difficult that they won't let me close. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, we'll see you. One thing I just remembered, while I was talking to my friend about what's going on here, seeing if he has any understanding, I noticed that the neighbors pulled into the property, and I was like, okay, cool, I can ask them about what's going on. And then they left immediately. Which also seemed odd, because I was going to ask them, like, hey, did you guys start this car fire, or like, did somebody else, or is this as big of a mystery to you as it is me? And if you did, like, did you hop the fence and go beat up my pigs or something? Like, I can't even get close enough to the pigs to see if they're like if they have any wounds or if they're suffering from anything or anything like that. But yeah, that's another odd development that just happened right before recording this video. The neighbors showed up, they never even got out of the vehicle, and then they left. So that's odd. But yeah, that's what's happening.